She said, "You take everything too seriously." I said, "Even love?" She laughed and walked away. 3 weeks later, she saw what not taking it seriously really looked like, and who was laughing then. I, 30 male, am an analyst. I spend my days looking at data, finding patterns, and assessing risk. It's not a flashy job, but I'm good at it, and it's afforded me a very comfortable life. My girlfriend, Maya, 28, is not an analyst. She's a visionary, a creative force, a free spirit. Her words. We've been together for 2 years. For most of that time, her vision was what I loved about her. She was exciting, spontaneous, and saw the world in colors I didn't. I saw it in spreadsheets. About 8 months ago, she came to me with her biggest vision, a high-end, curated consignment boutique. Not a dusty thrift shop, but a place for the city's elite to resell their $5,000 handbags and last-season runway pieces. She called it Elon. She had the passion. I had the capital. I loved her. I believed in her. But I'm still an analyst. I put up $80,000 of my own savings. I didn't just hand her a check. I formed an LLC. I hired a lawyer to draft the operating agreement. I took an 80% stake for my $80K capital, and she got 20% for her sweat equity and curation. I signed the 2-year commercial lease on a small, chic spot in a trendy neighborhood. I set up the business bank account. I was the investor. She was the face. This was my one smart, risk-assessing move. For 6 months, it was great. She was energized, sourcing inventory, designing the interior. I was happy to see her happy, even as the startup costs kept climbing. Then about 2 months ago, Bastien, 30M, showed up. He was a branding guru she'd met at some networking event. He had floppy hair, wore scarves indoors, and spoke exclusively in buzzwords. "We're not just selling clothes, Leo, we're selling synergy." He was, in short, a complete tool. Suddenly, Maya's vision required Bastien's input on everything, and his input was expensive. "Leo, Bastien thinks the logo is too static. We need a full redesign. It's only $5,000. "Leo, Bastien says our web presence is weak. He knows a guy who can build a custom portal for $10,000. I started checking the business debit card statements. I'm the only one with login access to the main account. She just has the card. The charges were weird. Client dinner at Le Serpent for $12 on a Monday night. The store wasn't even open. Strategy retreat at the Ember Hotel, $1,250, a hotel with a notorious spa. Consulting fee BV, $5,000. And another one a week later, consulting fee $5,000. I waited for her to come home to the apartment, my lease, my name. She just lives here. She waltzed in around 11 p.m., smelling like champagne and someone else's cologne. "Hey babe," she said, kissing the air near my face. "Maya, we need to talk. These business expenses are insane. You've paid Bastien $10,000 in 2 weeks. And what was the $1,200 hotel retreat?" She tossed her keys in the bowl. "Oh my God, Leo, relax. It's just networking. You have to spend money to make money. Bastien has connections. That retreat was just us planning the Q4 launch. You wouldn't get it." "I get spreadsheets, Maya. And this spreadsheet says you're bleeding my investment on dinners and spas. What's really going on with you and this guy?" She finally turned to look at me, and her face was just bored, annoyed, like I was a fly. "You take everything so seriously, Leo. It's just a project. It's just money. It's boring." My stomach went cold. Just a project? My $80,000 is just a project? I stood up. "What about us? Is that just a project too? Even love, Maya?" She laughed, not a little giggle. A full, throaty, pitying laugh, like I just told a really stupid, childish joke. "Ugh, Leo, you're so heavy." She picked up her purse, a $3,000 designer bag I'd bought her, and walked out the door. Just walked away. I stood there in the quiet for a long time. That laugh, it echoed. It wasn't a "we're in a fight" laugh. It was a "you don't matter" laugh. And that's when something in me just clicked, switched off. The analyst took over. She's right. I take things too seriously. I took her seriously. I took her dreams seriously. My mistake. She thinks it's just a project. Fine, I'll treat it like one. A failed one. She's been planning a massive grand opening gala. It's in 3 weeks. She's been sending out invites, talking to caterers. She thinks she's launching a brand. She has no idea I'm about to launch the liquidation. I opened my laptop and emailed my lawyer. Time to dissolve an LLC. Update 1. 1 week later. It's been a week since the laugh. I haven't seen Maya. She's been crashing at Bastion's, I assume. I don't care. I've been busy. My lawyer, a sharp woman named Alana, was almost giddy. This is why we draft ironclad operating agreements, Leo. You own 80%. You are the sole signatory on the lease. You have every right to dissolve the LLC, absorb the losses, and liquidate the assets. What about the lease? I asked. You'll have to negotiate a termination. Probably pay a penalty, but it's better than funding a sinking ship for 2 years. The first thing I did was the deep dive. I pulled the full, itemized bank statements for the LLC. It was so much worse than I thought. She hadn't just been paying Bastion's consulting fees. She'd been paying for everything. $2,100 for a new laptop, tagged as office hardware. $800 for luggage, tagged as inventory transport. Weekly charges at Les Serpents, the Ember Hotel, Perigee, all coded as client meetings. She'd spent $32,000. Stolen. It was just straight up theft. My hands weren't even shaking. I just felt cold. Efficient. This wasn't a girlfriend making a mistake. This was a con artist. And I was the mark. Step 1. The account. I walked into the bank, showed my ID, and the LLC documents proving I was the managing member. I froze the account. Not closed, frozen. All transactions blocked, including the debit card she had. I didn't have to wait long. About 4 hours later, my phone rang. Leo! She wasn't laughing now. She was shrieking. My card, it declined. At the printers. For the invitations, Leo. The grand opening invitations. What did you do? I put my feet up on my desk. Oh, that's weird. Must be a security flag. The bank's probably just being overly cautious. Well, fix it, she screeched. I have to pay the deposit. I have to pay Bastien. He's waiting for his payment. This is so embarrassing. Bastien needs his payment. The audacity. Gosh, Maya, I'm really busy with a project at work. You know how I am, always taking things so seriously. I let that hang in the air. I'll look into it when I get a chance. You might have to cover it for now. Cover it? With what? You know I don't have that kind of money. That's what the business is for. You fix this, Leo. You fix it now. Sorry, you're breaking up, I said to the crystal clear line. Talk later. Click. I blocked her number. Step 2. The landlord. I met with the commercial property manager. He was a gruff older guy who'd seen it all. She's running it into the ground? He asked. She's run it. Past tense. I'm dissolving the LLC. I need out of the lease. He sighed. That's a 2-year note, son. You signed it. I know. What's the penalty? We haggled. He was tough, but I was motivated. We settled on a termination fee, $15,000. It was 3 months' rent. I wrote him a check from my personal account. The space needs to be broom swept and empty by the 20th, he said. That's 2 weeks from now. It'll be empty by Friday, I replied. Step 3. The assets. I spent the next 3 days at Alon. I hired a consignment broker, not to sell the stuff but to buy it. In bulk, all the designer bags I paid for, the racks of high-end clothes I sourced, the custom-built antique counter that I spent $10,000 on. The broker gave me 60 cents on the dollar. I didn't care. It was cash. I sold the fixtures, the lighting, the velvet synergy couch Bastien insisted on. Sold it all for pennies. By Friday, the store was a concrete shell. Just like when I first signed the lease. I've moved all my personal belongings out of our apartment. I put them in storage. I'm staying at a corporate hotel for now. The lease on the apartment is up at the end of next month, and I've already given notice. She can have the empty apartment. Here's the fun part. Maya is still planning the grand opening. She must have found some way to pay for the invitations. Maybe borrowed from Bastien or her parents. She's been posting about it on Instagram. Counting down the days, Elon grand opening boss babe. She's been sending me angry texts from Bastien's phone, which I've also blocked. She has no idea. She's inviting 100 of the city's elite to a party in an empty, locked concrete box. The grand opening is next Tuesday. I might just have to watch, from a distance. Update 2, 3 weeks later, the grand opening. Tonight was the night, the big grand opening gala for Elon. The last 2 weeks have been quiet. I finalized the dissolution of the LLC after the lease termination. The for lease sign went up in the store window 4 days ago. Maya has been completely dark. I assume she's been so busy planning her party that she hasn't even driven by her own store. The level of delusion is breathtaking. I couldn't not go. I'm not a monster. I'm an analyst. I need to see the data. I posted up at a wine bar across the street, had a perfect view of the storefront. I ordered a very expensive Cabernet and a cheese plate. I earned it. 7 p.m., the caterers arrive, a big white van. Two guys get out, look at the for lease sign, look at their clipboard, and start making confused phone calls. This is amazing. 7:15 p.m., Maya and Bastien pull up, not in her old Jetta, in a gleaming black rented Tesla. Of course, she gets out. She's wearing, I don't even know, a silver dress that looks like it's made of tinfoil, a ball gown. She looks like a baked potato. Bastien is in a velvet suit, in summer. 7 since she strides up to the door, arm in arm with him. She puts her key in the lock. It doesn't turn. She jiggles it. She tries again. She looks annoyed. She knocks. Leo, are you in there? What's wrong with the key? She puts her face to the glass, and she freezes. I can see her, even from across the street. The panic. She's looking right through the glass at an empty concrete box. The antique counter is gone. The racks are gone. The velvet couch is gone. The only thing in there is an old broom I left in the corner. She starts backing away from the door, shaking her head. Bastien, who's been on his phone, finally looks up. What is it, darling? It's locked? He looks. His face goes slack. 7:20 p.m. The first guests arrive. An older couple in black tie. They walk up, see Maya, see the for lease sign, see the confused caterers. The woman says something, pats Maya's arm, and they get right back in their Uber. This is the moment. My phone buzzes. A number I don't recognize. Her mother's, a friend's. I pick up. Leo, where is it? Where is my store? It's pure, undiluted animal panic. I've never heard a sound like it. The guests are here. The caterers are here. Leo, what is happening? I take a sip of my wine. What store, Maya? Elon, my store, our store. It's empty. The sign is gone. The counter is gone. Leo, did we get robbed? Oh, that, I said, swirling my glass. That project. Yeah, I decided not to take it seriously anymore. You were right, Maya. It's just a project. It's just money. Silence. A horrible, strangled silence. Then Bastien's voice in the background, sharp and ugly. What did he say? What did he do? The funding. You said he was a done deal. You said he was wrapped around your finger. Uh-oh. He wasn't supposed to say the quiet part out loud. Leo? Maya's voice is a whisper now. You can't. I did, I said, and I felt a smile spread across my face. A real one. You taught me to lighten up, to not be so heavy. And you know what? It feels great. I'm actually laughing, Maya. See? This is hilarious. I'm going to sue you, she roars, the panic turning to rage. I'm going to ruin you. I'll call the police. For what? For dissolving an LLC I own 80% of? For selling inventory I paid for terminating a lease I signed with my own money to cover your theft? Good luck with that. Don't take it so seriously, babe. I hung up. I watched for another 10 minutes. More guests arrived. More Ubers pulled up, paused, and pulled away. It was a parade of confusion and secondhand embarrassment. Maya was just standing on the sidewalk in her tinfoil dress, screaming into her phone. Bastien was yelling at the caterers. Finally, she just crumpled, sat right down on the curb, her head in her hands. Bastien threw his velvet-suited arms up, kicked the for lease sign, and stormed off down the street, leaving her there. I finished my wine, paid my bill, and walked home. I think I'll sleep well tonight. Final update, 1 month later. The dust has settled. The silence has been profound. I moved into a new apartment. It's smaller, just a 1-bedroom, but it's all mine. The lease I was in, the one she lived in, is done. I left her the keys and a copy of the final utility bill. But as expected, the entitlement wave wasn't over. It just changed tactics. Dirty trick 1, the mother. About a week after the gala, I got a call from an unknown number. It was her mother, Lorraine. Lorraine. Leo, honey, thank God. Maya is just, she's a wreck. I don't know what kind of fight you two had, but you need to fix this. Me. There's nothing to fix, Lorraine. The business is dissolved. The relationship is over. Lorraine. Don't be dramatic. You promised her this store. You can't just take a girl's dream away because you're in a mood. She put her soul into that. Me. She put $32,000 of my money into her soulmate, Bastien. I have the bank statements. She's a thief, Lorraine. There was a pause. A cold one. Bastien is a lovely young man. She's a creative person, Leo. Creatives are fluid. You're just an accountant. You can't put a price on that kind of vision. Now, I expect you to do the right thing. Apologize and buy her a new store. A better one. I was speechless. The sheer unmitigated gall. Buy her a new one. Me, Lorraine, you are delusional. I hung up. Dirty trick 2, the guru. 2 days later, a certified letter arrives. It's from Bastion Vanguard Strategies. It's an invoice for $25,000. Line items included: brand strategy and realignment $15,000, synergistic vision casting $5,000, emotional labor and creative support $5,000. He was invoicing me for emotional labor. I laughed so hard I cried. My lawyer, Alana, did not laugh. She was furious. Her response letter was a work of art. It was not sent to Bastien. It was sent to the district attorney's office. It included my LLC agreement, the bank statements showing every single transfer to Bastien, the hotel bills, the restaurant charges, and a very polite query about potential criminal fraud and conspiracy to defraud an investor. She CC'd Bastien on it. The Vanguard Strategies website was offline within an hour. I have not heard from Mr. Bastien since. The legal fallout. Maya did try to sue. She found a lawyer who works on contingency. That lawyer sent me a very threatening letter demanding $150,000 for breach of contract, theft of intellectual property, the Elon name, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Alana sent back one box. Inside the box was the 80/20 LLC operating agreement, signed by Maya with the dissolution clause highlighted, the complete, itemized bank statements showing the $32,000 in fraudulent charges, the receipt from the consignment broker for the inventory, the signed lease termination agreement with the $15,000 penalty check stub. Maya's lawyer called Alana the next day, not to argue, to apologize. He said he was dropping her as a client, effective immediately, as she had grossly misrepresented the facts of the case. The final scoreboard. Maya? Broke. She's living with Lorraine. She's being hounded by the caterer, the rental company, and the printer for the bills she racked up for the party. She has no store, no money, and no rich accountant boyfriend. Has vanished. I suspect Alana's letter to the DA sent him scurrying back to whatever hole he crawled out of. Me, I'm out about $45,000. The $32,000 she stole. The $15,000 lease penalty, minus the $2,000 I got back for the fixtures. It's a $45,000 lesson. It's the stupidest, most expensive tuition I've ever paid. It stings. I'm not a hero. I'm an idiot who got played. I feel that. But I'm also free. I'm in my new apartment, drinking a cheap beer, looking at my own spreadsheets. I was vulnerable. I did take love seriously. She saw that as a weakness, a tap she could just open and drain. So I did what I do best. I assessed the risk, cut the loss, and liquidated the asset. I heard from an old mutual friend that Maya tells people I'm cold, calculating, and sociopathic. You know what? I can live with that. It's a hell of a lot better than being the heavy, boring guy who's too serious. She wanted me to lighten up. She just didn't like it when I did. She screamed, "You're a failure. My father was right about you." I replied, "He usually is." Then I forwarded her dad the video of her crashing his car drunk that I'd been keeping quiet about. His lawyer's call about removing her from his will came during her apology. Original post: I, 31 male, was sitting in our living room yesterday when my girlfriend Veronica, 29, completely lost it over me declining a promotion at work. We've been together 4 years, living in my condo for the last 2. The promotion would have meant relocating across the country, 70-hour weeks, and maybe a 20% pay bump. Not worth it to me. I make good money as a senior analyst, about $95. I like my work-life balance. I coach Little League on weekends, have poker nights with friends. Life's good. But Veronica? She went nuclear. You're such a loser. They offered you VP and you said no? It's not the right move for me, I said calmly, still scrolling through my phone. My father was right about you. You have no ambition. You'll always be mediocre. That stopped my scrolling. Her dad, Richard, is old money, owns a bunch of dealerships, never liked me because I didn't kiss his ring, always making comments about how his daughter could do better. Yeah? I looked up. He usually is right about things. She blinked, confused by my agreement. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Just agreeing with you. You're pathetic, you know that? I've wasted 4 years with someone who's content being average. My dad says you'll never amount to anything. Cool. Tell Richard I said hi. She stormed off to the bedroom, slamming the door so hard a picture fell off the wall. I sat there for maybe 5 minutes, thinking. Then I pulled up a video on my phone from last year. November 15th, 2:34 a.m. Ring doorbell footage from Richard's house that he'd shared with family members after a break-in scare. Everyone was supposed to delete it after reviewing. I didn't. The video showed Veronica absolutely wasted, trying to park Richard's Mercedes S-Class. She clipped the garage door, scraped the entire passenger side along the brick pillar, then stumbled out and threw up in his prize rose bushes. The car damage was probably $15 minimum. But here's the thing. Richard never knew. Veronica told him someone hit it while it was parked at the country club. He filed an insurance claim and everything. She begged me never to tell him, said he'd disown her. I'd kept quiet until now. Opened my email, attached the video. Typed Richard's address. Subject, thought you should see this. November 15th incident. Body, Richard, remember when your Mercedes got damaged at the country club? Veronica asked me to never show you this. But since you're always right about me being a failure, figured you deserve the truth about your daughter. The mediocre boyfriend. Send. Then I texted Veronica. Your dad's probably going to call you in about 20 minutes. Might want to pick up. Went to the kitchen, made a sandwich. This was going to be interesting. Update 1. Holy hell. I didn't expect this to blow up. Let me tell you what happened next because it's wild. So 18 minutes after I sent that email, yes, I was counting, Veronica's phone started ringing. She came storming out of the bedroom. Why is my dad calling? Wait, why are you smiling? No reason. You should answer that. She picked up. I couldn't hear his side, but I didn't need to. Hi, Daddy? What? What video? I don't understand. Her face went from confused to pale to ghost white. Daddy, I can explain. It wasn't. Please just listen, please. He'd hung up. She stared at me, phone shaking in her hand. What did you do? Me? Nothing. Just shared some family memories. You sent him the video? The one where you committed insurance fraud. Yeah. That's illegal. You can't just... Actually, I can. It's his doorbell camera footage. He shared it with family. I'm basically family after 4 years, right? Or wait, am I too mediocre to be family? She tried calling Richard back, straight to voicemail. Called 6 more times. Nothing. Then the text started rolling in from her mom, Diana. Your father is livid. How could you lie to us? $15,000 in damage, and you let him file a false claim? He's calling Lawrence, their lawyer. Veronica was hyperventilating. You don't understand. He's gonna cut me off. I'm in his will, the trust fund. Wow, sounds like a real successful person problem. Good thing I'm too mediocre to understand. She actually dropped to her knees. Please, call him. Tell him you made a mistake. Tell him it's fake. Fake? There's literally a timestamp. Your license plate is visible. You're wearing that designer dress you posted about that night. I'll do anything, please. Anything. How about you move out, take your success and ambition, and go achieve somewhere else? You're kicking me out over this? No, I'm kicking you out because you called me a failure. The video thing is just karma having perfect timing. Her phone rang again. Lawrence, the family lawyer. Hello? Yes, I understand, but I'm his daughter. There has to be. Oh. She hung up, looked at me with pure hatred. He's removing me from the will. The trust fund is frozen, and he wants me to pay him back for the insurance deductible and the increase in premiums. Dang, how much is that? $5,000 I don't have because I spent it on that stupid Vegas trip with the girls. The one you said was a networking opportunity? That's ironic. Here's where it gets really good. Her brother Justin starts texting her. Apparently, Richard sent the video to the whole family with the message, "This is what happens when you raise an entitled liar." Her Aunt Martha replied all, "I always knew she was a spoiled brat." Her cousin Theo, LMAO, Veronica got caught in 4K. The family group chat was apparently going insane. 23 years of being daddy's princess, destroyed by a Ring doorbell video. You ruined my life, she screamed. Nah, you ruined your own life when you drove drunk and lied about it. I just provided transparency. Isn't that what successful people value? She tried a different approach. Started crying, doing that thing where she touches my arm softly. Baby, please, we can work through this. I didn't mean what I said, I was just stressed about my job. The MLM makeup thing you've been losing money on for 2 years? It's not MLM, it's network marketing, right? Well, network yourself to a new place to live. You've got 30 days. 30 days? That's illegal. I have rights. You're not on the lease, you don't pay rent, you're a guest who's overstayed their welcome. She went back to anger. My dad is going to destroy you. He knows people. What's he gonna do? Share the video of his daughter committing fraud? I'm sure that'll go great for both of you. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Is this the piece of crap dating my daughter? Richard's voice. Hi, Richard. I prefer mediocre boyfriend, actually. You think you're clever? Sending that video? I think I'm honest. Unlike some people. You just cost my daughter her inheritance. No, her drunk driving and insurance fraud did that. I just provided evidence. Isn't that what you business types call due diligence? He went quiet. Then, you recorded that without permission. Actually, you recorded it with your camera that you shared with family. I just forwarded it back to you. I'll sue you. For what? Showing you the truth about your daughter? Good luck with that. He hung up. Veronica was now destroying my apartment, throwing cushions, knocking over plants, full tantrum mode. Stop, I said firmly. Break anything and I call the cops, then everyone, including your fancy friends, will know you got arrested for domestic violence. She froze. The one thing she cared about more than money was her image. This isn't over, she hissed. You're right, you still need to pack. Update 2. It's been 3 days since I sent that video. The entitlement has reached levels I didn't think were possible. First, Veronica tried to mobilize her friend Army. You know the type, the brunch squad, who think having opinions about wine makes them sophisticated. They showed up at my condo yesterday like some kind of intervention. Leading the pack was Madison, her best friend, who once told me I was actually pretty smart for someone who went to state school. You need to fix this, Madison announced, pushing past me into my living room. Fix what? This whole situation with Ronnie and her dad. Ronnie? She's Veronica to everyone except you four. Bailey, the one who does social media consulting, has 3K followers. You don't understand what you've done. Her whole life is ruined. Her life? Or her free money pipeline? Anastasia, who hasn't worked a day in her life. It's not about money, it's about family. Right, the family she lied to about destroying a 100-car car while driving drunk. Madison again. Everyone makes mistakes. You holding that over her is like emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail is her screaming that I'm a failure because I didn't take a job I don't want. Sending her dad his own security footage is just transparency. Then Veronica emerged from the bedroom, clearly having coached them on talking points. See, she said, fake crying. Even they know you're being abusive. Abusive? I haven't raised my voice once. You're the one who destroyed my living room. Bailey pulled out her phone. I'm recording this. For evidence of your abuse. Cool, record this too. Veronica, you have 27 days to leave. Madison, Bailey, Anastasia, you're trespassing. Leave now or I call the police. They did that thing where they all gasp in unison like synchronized swimmers. You can't threaten us. Anastasia shrieked. I pulled out my phone, started dialing. Hi, I need police assistance removing trespassers from my property. They practically ran out, heels clicking on the hallway floor. But the entitlement wasn't done. That night, around 10 p.m., Richard showed up, buzzed my intercom repeatedly until I answered. We need to talk, he growled. We really don't. I'm not leaving until you let me up. Cool. I'll let the building security know you're harassing a resident. 5 minutes later, he was in my living room. Dude looked rough. His whole power suit energy was off. You've destroyed my family, he started. Your daughter did that when she chose to drive drunk. She made a mistake. And then lied about it for over a year. Let you file a fraudulent insurance claim. That's not a mistake, that's a pattern. He tried to loom over me. I'm 6'2", he's maybe 5'9". It wasn't working. What do you want, money? I laughed. From the guy who calls me mediocre? Nah, I want nothing from you. Then why did you do this? Because your daughter said I was a failure, that you were right about me, so I figured you deserve to be right about her too, that she's irresponsible, entitled, and dishonest. His face went red. How dare you? How dare I what? Tell the truth. Man, rich people really do live in a different reality. I'll destroy you. I'll call your employer. I work for the government, Richard. Good luck influencing that with your car dealership money. Plus, what are you gonna say? This guy showed me evidence my daughter committed fraud? He deflated, then tried another angle. Look, man to man, she loves you. This is destroying her. She loves my stability while she plays entrepreneur with your money. There's a difference. What if I reconsidered the will thing? You want me to convince you to keep funding the person who let you commit insurance fraud? It's my money. Then give it to her. Or don't. I don't care. But she's still moving out in 27 days. He stood up to leave, then turned. You know what? You're right. You are mediocre. My daughter could have married a doctor or lawyer. Instead, she's getting evicted by a government analyst who makes less than 6 figures. Must sting. He slammed the door on his way out. This morning, I woke up to 52 text messages. Not from Veronica. She's been giving me the silent treatment while passive-aggressively moving furniture around at 3 a.m. The texts were from random numbers. Turns out Madison posted my photo and number in some Facebook group called Exposed Toxic Men, East Coast Chapter, with a whole fabricated story about how I'm abusive and manipulative. The messages ranged from, "You're trash," to death threats. Nice. So I did what any reasonable person would do. I screenshot everything, filed a police report for harassment and cyberstalking, then sent it all to Madison's employer, found through LinkedIn. She works at some marketing firm. Got an email this afternoon. We take cyber harassment seriously and are investigating this matter with our employee. Madison texted from Veronica's phone an hour later. You got me suspended from work. No, you got yourself suspended by organizing harassment campaigns during business hours using your work laptop. I just reported it. How did you know I used my work laptop? The metadata in the screenshots you posted. Maybe be smarter about your cyberbullying? Radio silence after that. But the best part came tonight. Richard's wife Diana called. Not to yell, to thank me. I've been telling him for years that Veronica needs consequences. She's 29 and has never faced real accountability. Thanks? I'm not reinstating her trust fund, no matter what Richard says. She could have killed someone driving that drunk. That's between you all. I also spoke to my brother. He's a property lawyer. If you need help with the eviction process, here's his number. Plot twist I didn't see coming. Tomorrow is day 4. Veronica has 26 days left. She's currently in the bedroom on the phone with someone, crying about how everyone's against her, and she's literally homeless. She's not homeless. She just might have to get a real job like the rest of us mediocre people. Final update. It's been exactly 30 days. Grab some popcorn because this ending is something else. So after the last update, Veronica went to desperation mode. First, she tried the legal angle. Some lawyer friend of Bailey's sent me a letter saying I was illegally evicting her, and she had tenant rights. I forwarded it to Diana's brother. He responded with a beautiful 3-page letter explaining that 1. She was never a tenant, just a guest. 2. No rent was ever paid or agreed upon. 3. 30 days notice was more than legally required. 4. Their letter had no legal standing and bordered on harassment. That lawyer friend never contacted me again. Then came the love bombing phase. Veronica suddenly became the perfect girlfriend. Cooked dinner, badly, cleaned poorly, and kept trying to seduce me while I was working from home. Remember our trip to Miami? She'd purr, wearing lingerie at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. The one your dad paid for? Yeah, we could go again, just us. Work this out. With what money? Your frozen trust fund? She'd storm off each time. The attempts got more desperate. She even tried to get into my home office wearing just my dress shirt, like some movie cliché. Veronica, I have a government security clearance. There's a camera in here. You're being recorded. She ran out so fast, she knocked over my coffee. Day 20, things escalated. I came home to find my condo full of people. She'd thrown a goodbye party without telling me. What is this? Just some friends helping me pack, she said sweetly. I looked around. No packing. Just drinking my beer, eating food she'd ordered on my credit card. She still had the number memorized, and several people I'd never seen before. Everyone out. Now. Some drunk guy. Chill bro, we're just vibing. You're trespassing. Out. Veronica, you can't kick out my guests. They're not guests, they're trespassers in my home. Everyone has 5 minutes before I call the cops. I started filming. People scattered like roaches. Veronica screamed that I was ruining everything and being dramatic. The apartment was trashed, broken glass, stains on my couch someone had thrown up in my bathroom. I documented everything. "You're paying for all of this," I told her. "With what money?" She sneered. "You got me cut off, remember? Then I guess we'll go to small claims court." Day 25. Richard tried one more time, but this time he brought back up his business partner Dominic, some supposed negotiator. "Dominic, let's be reasonable men here. Veronica made mistakes, but destroying a family over this seems excessive." Me, I didn't destroy anything, I forwarded a video. "You know what that video cost her? What it cost her? What about what her drunk driving could have cost someone else? A family? Kids?" No one was hurt. Because she got lucky. And instead of learning from it, she covered it up and let you file fraud. "Dominic, what will it take to make this go away?" "It's already gone away. She moves out in 5 days. I mean the video. Delete it. Pretend it never happened." "Why would I do that? I'm prepared to offer you $50,000. I laughed. "You want to pay me $50K to delete evidence of a crime?" "It's not. That's bribery at minimum, obstruction of justice at worst." "Did you really just try to bribe a government employee? In my own home, while my security camera is recording?" They both went pale. Dominic looked at Richard like he didn't tell me he had cameras. "Leave, now, and if you contact me again, that recording goes to the FBI." They left without another word. Day 29. Veronica finally started packing. But here's where the entitlement reached its peak. She started packing my stuff. "Why is my PlayStation in that box?" "It's basically mine. I use it for Netflix." "Take it out." "Why are you being so petty?" I went through every box. She'd tried to take my coffee maker. I picked it out. My air fryer. I cook with it. Even my grandmother's throw pillows. They match my aesthetic. After unpacking all my stuff, she had 2 suitcases and some garbage bags of clothes. "That's it. This is all I have," she wailed. 4 years and this is all I have. Maybe you should have bought your own things instead of assuming mine were yours. Day 30. Morning of. She had to be out by 5 p.m. At 9 a.m. her phone rang. Richard. She put it on speaker, thinking he was calling to save her. "Veronica, your mother and I have discussed this. You can come home, but there are conditions." "Anything, Daddy." "You'll work at the dealership. Receptionist. $15 an hour." "Receptionist?" "You'll pay rent, $500 a month." "Pay rent to live in my childhood bedroom?" "And you'll attend AA meetings." "I'm not an alcoholic." "You drove my car drunk. You'll go or you'll be homeless. Your choice." She hung up on him, then called Diana. "Mom, Daddy's being unreasonable." "Diana, he's being generous. I wanted to charge you $800. "What?" "Veronica, you're almost 30. You've never held a real job. You've lived off others your entire life. This is your wake-up call. But the offer stands for 24 hours, then you're on your own." She hung up. 3 p.m. Larry, the building manager, knocked. "Just checking she's leaving today?" "She is." "Good. We've had multiple complaints about noise, parties, and someone throwing a wine bottle off the balcony last week." I looked at Veronica. "You threw a bottle off the balcony?" I was upset. "That could have killed someone." "Stop being dramatic." "Larry, she's banned from the building after today. Security has her photo." 5 p.m. Richard arrived with a small moving truck. He looked older, tired. "Let's go, Veronica." She was dragging her feet, hoping for some last-minute miracle. Then she turned to me. "I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I called you mediocre." "You're not mediocre. You're stable." "Good, I need that." "No, you need someone to fund your lifestyle while you play boss babe on Instagram. That's not." "Veronica, in 4 years, you've started 5 businesses. Makeup, jewelry, fitness coaching, life coaching. Now essential oils, all funded by your dad or me. You've never made a profit, never had a real job, never paid a bill. You're not an entrepreneur. You're a hobbyist with other people's money. That's mean." "It's true. And until you face that truth, you'll keep being this person." Richard finally spoke up. "She's right. You're not cut out for business. You're coming to work for me, maybe in a few years. I am not working as a receptionist. Then find your own way." She looked between us, 2 men she'd manipulated for years, finally done with her games. "I hate you both." She grabbed her bags and stormed to the truck. Richard handed me an envelope, the insurance deductible and premium increase, $5,000, from her future paychecks. "Keep it. I don't want money. I just wanted her to face consequences. He nodded. You're not mediocre. You're probably the first real man she's ever dated. I'm just a guy who knows his worth isn't tied to his salary. He left without another word. It's been a week since she moved out. I deep cleaned everything, had the locks changed again just to be safe, and finally have peace. Heard through the grapevine that she lasted exactly 3 days at the dealership before quitting. She's currently couch surfing with Madison, who's also unemployed after getting fired for the harassment campaign. Diana sent me a text yesterday. Thank you for doing what we should have done years ago. Richard apparently has started therapy to deal with enabling behaviors. And Veronica? Last I saw, she'd started a new Instagram as a life coach specializing in trauma and resilience. The irony is incredible. My apartment is quiet now. No more 3 a.m. furniture moving. No more surprise parties. No more friends telling me I'm lucky to date someone so ambitious. I'm still mediocre, I guess. Still didn't take that promotion. Still coaching Little League. Still having poker nights. But my couch is mine. My coffee maker is mine. My grandmother's pillows are mine. And most importantly, my peace is mine. Sometimes the best revenge isn't elaborate. Sometimes it's just sending one video and letting entitled people destroy themselves with their own reactions. To everyone asking if I regret it, no. She called me a failure. I just proved that her success was as fake as her Instagram follower count. To everyone saying I went too far, she drove drunk, committed fraud, and then called me mediocre for not wanting to sacrifice my happiness for a title. I went exactly far enough. To Richard, if you somehow read this, your daughter didn't need inheritance. She needed consequences. You're welcome. To Veronica, since I know you're reading this because Bailey told me you've been obsessing over it. Your dad wasn't right about me being mediocre. He was right about you being spoiled. Hope the life coaching works out. Maybe start by coaching yourself. Done with this chapter. Time to enjoy my mediocre, peaceful, drama-free life. Edit. Stop asking for the video. No, I won't share it. That would actually be illegal. Also, stop asking if I'm single. I'm taking a break from dating to enjoy having my own space back.